This is so exciting because anybody who loves motorsport, well, most of us, we love racing games as well. And Project Cars 2 is shortly being launched. And I've got Rod here and Stephen, who've been very closely involved with the game here. Before we start, and I ask you any serious questions, you guys being involved in it, you must have little jokes that happen between you in the office. What sort of things happen? Do you have like geeky game jokes or things that people outside might not understand?
Jokes in the office, that's a tricky one. Well, the interesting thing about this is that we all work remote.
So there's no sort of socializing together, really?
Sometimes there. I think
have you two ever met?
Yeah, the funny thing is at our Christmas party, we really should have name tags because we don't know each other, because we chat over our chat programs, and sometimes we do Skype calls and things like that. But it's very rare that you get all of us together in one place.
So there's my image of this tight niche office environment out the window. All right, let's get on with the serious questions. Tell us the top 3 things for each of you that's new about the game that you absolutely love and you're most excited about.
Oh, I got to go first. So one of the things that we're getting a lot of great feedback on that we're very proud of is the handling, how we've updated the handling of the cars. We put a lot of effort into updating the tire model, and a lot of that focuses on the feeling of the car up to and over the limit. So you can, if you have a hairy moment in a corner, you cook it and you're going too fast and the car's sliding. And now with Project Cars 2, you can get the car back. You can slide, catch it, and then keep going. And that was something that we didn't quite have worked out with Project Cars 1. So the updated handling is something that we're very proud of. You can have a lot more fun. It's actually more realistic, but at the same time more fun because you can drive aggressively and really push the car now. So
it's a bit more realistic than Outrun.
I would hope so, that it's more realistic than Outrun. Yes.
Okay, give us one of your top things that in the game, Steve.
Okay, you took the best one, but I'll go with the second one. Is our multiplayer ranking system. So in multiplayer, traditionally in racing games, when you go play online, one of the most frustrating, infuriating things is when you have a person out there who thinks that it's the coolest thing to drive the wrong way around and wreck into everybody, right? So in Project Cars 2, we implemented this ranking system where it tracks how you race when you're online, whether you cut the track or not, whether you bump into other cars or not, whether you quit before you finish the race just because you're not winning. So it tracks all of that, and it starts automatically matchmaking you with people who play the game like you do. So the longer you play, the more fun it becomes online, because the more and more you have experiences like what you appreciate and enjoy yourself.
So this is like Tinder for gamers?
I guess, yes.
Swipe left, swipe right?
Yeah. I should say I've never used it. I've only read about it. I'm just saying that. Yeah, I've only heard about it. That sounds absolutely...
If it's anything like you heard of, then it's similar. Yeah?
That sounds absolutely fascinating, because it must be deeply frustrating. And you must have listened to people who use the game. Yes. So you think, I'm so tired of my race being wrecked by someone like this. So eventually, I guess you end up in a league with people who drive like you.
Absolutely, yes. That's the whole end game here, is you can add people to your friends list that you find then who are playing like you because you're automatically matchmade with them. And then you guys can start playing an online championship together. So you automatically have a wonderful experience online. Every race is with people that you can trust, because that's a big thing, right? When you're out here racing, you need to trust that the other drivers know what they're doing, that he's not going to brake way too early or suddenly swerve off the race line. Finishing the race is very much an issue of trust with how the other guys are going to drive. And if you try to do it online and the other guys aren't driving properly, you're not going to have a pleasant experience. And with this ranking and matchmaking system that we've introduced, it's just going to improve it dramatically.
Now, Rod, you're originally from Canada. Stephen, you're from South Africa.
That's right.
Now, racing around the world is different, and sometimes the difference is the weather. And in Britain here, we have a saying, if you don't like the British weather, just wait a couple of hours, because it changes. And I saw it yesterday, you showed me, you have built a superb weather engine or system, whatever you call it, into the game. Who's going to tell me about that?
We can both. I can start off if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in Project Cars 1 already, we had a reasonably accurate weather simulation, but it was focusing more on rain versus not rain. so you could transition between the different weather conditions. Um, For Project Cars 2, we took that to a whole new level. We didn't just going to go marginally improve it. We decided that we're going to do a full fluid dynamics simulation in Project Cars 2. So if you take a location and you put it inside this weather simulation system, it'll be accurate based on where in the world that track is, what time of the year it is, and based on the track surface itself. So we laser scan the tracks, and they're millimeter accurate to what the real one is. So if you then take a fluid dynamics simulation of the liquid running around, puddles will automatically form where they do in real life. So here at Brands Hatch, for example, you will see puddles forming down Cooper where you would normally see it in real life as well. So if you've done the track in real life and you do it in simulation, you know where to expect the puddles to form, and the car will aquaplane accurately the same way as it would in real life. Or if you've done the other way around, like most people would have, they would have done it in the simulation first. So then when they do finally get here and they wait 2 hours and it's raining, they will know what to expect and where to find puddles and where to avoid and get the best race line.
And so in Canada, do you end up on the race circuits with 6 meters of snow?
I'm from Vancouver, and we have a saying in Vancouver, there's 2 seasons. There's summer and rain. So where I grew up, it would rain for 3 weeks straight. And I cannot tell you how many races I've been to or raced in myself that were just wet, flooding all day. And I don't have a positive memory of that. I like going to races in California. Much better.
The final thing then is just talking to you guys here. You just seem so happy. This is at the end of a day when you've been entertaining guests and working on this. How much do you love your work? Rod?
Oh, I absolutely love Project Cars and Slightly Mad Studios and working on racing games. For me, I feel like I'm doing my hobby and somehow I'm making a living doing it. So yeah, I'm a racing enthusiast, and I get to take that and put it into a simulation game, and it's a dream come true, absolutely.
Stephen?
There's no getting around that it's a lot of hard work to get a program like this to the level that it is. It is a lot of dedication, commitment, long hours, and so on and so on.
Lots of swear words.
Yeah. But coming out to an event like this and spending a day with people who allow you to see it through fresh eyes, and them glamoring about how amazing the game is and how much they enjoy all these details that we put in it, it just puts a smile on your face, right? It's just like, this is awesome. It's so great to see that this vision that we had for this project is coming to fruition, and we see this through the eyes of the people who's going to be playing the game.
It's worth pointing out that we don't really have jobs, we have lifestyles. It's all encompassing, 24/7, it never stops.
Yeah.
That's the payoff.
This is what we do, this is who we are.
So do you feel a bit like perhaps Michelangelo when people have come in and seen, he said, okay, I finished the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, and people come in and look at it, and that's the point that the payoff comes?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
This Project Cars 2 is your Sistine Chapel, would you say?
It definitely, Project Cars 2 is a motorsports thesis. There's no doubt about that.
In fact, I did say finally, but I do have a final question. Let's imagine that somebody from 10 years in the future arrives here now and starts reminiscing about this game. What sort of differences will they have in 10 years' time?
Well, the thing to note about one key aspect of Project Cars is how it uses virtual reality. And the thing that we're saying about the current generation of VR headsets is they're a bit like the original iPhone. And if you look back on when the iPhone arrived, a lot of people are interested in it, but I don't think we really understood the widespread effect it would have on society as a whole, and how it would change everything, and all sorts of new businesses would come out of it. Think of Uber. That comes because of the platform of the smartphone. And the same goes for these VR headsets and what's going to come with them when they go AR as well, augmented reality, or people talk about mixed reality. All of these things are going to push boundaries. And I don't think we understand from this point in time how it's going to affect things. But Project Cars is definitely part of a paradigm shift of total immersion, and that we're able to trick people's nervous systems into believing that they're driving racing cars on racing tracks. And once you're in a virtual reality simulation experience, you literally do not know that what you're driving is not real. You lose yourself completely. And anytime we demonstrate Project Cars 2 in this environment, we see people, they're gone, they're somewhere else. And that is the key thing that's happening right now.
And these two are part of the people who are responsible for a number of marriage breakups and a huge amount of time that is spent in front of one of these machines here, but an enormous amount of pleasure. Guys, Rod and Stephen, thank you for talking to me today. Appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Project Cars 2.